the point a little bit more because the EXP laners and the side laners, well, pretty much generally everyone can get back to the map faster after a big set if they end up back on the base. Welcome to the very first draft of M7 here on the wildcards, and right away we're seeing some unique strategies. Mouse getting taken away, one of the priorities in the mid, and Sora right away banned already by the Filipino coach Ola.
Yeah, that Sora will definitely be avoided by ZETA, but that Esmeralda ban, though. It's a Junichi staple pick, so obviously that Esmeralda will be taken away by Zone, or rather Team Zone, to not give Junichi kind of like a good lane to play.
We've seen him do really well on the Esmeralda, on the Uranus as well here, ZETA Division. So the fact that they've banned out the Lunox, they've already trapped Zone here to actually let the Baksha open as well.
Yeah.
You remember the Baksha? You literally just mentioned it. ZETA have picked it up. I don't know if this is going to be a flex pick though, or if it'll actually just be on 10, because I feel like it's a bit sad to see a guy as good as 10 mechanically be on a Baksha.
Yeah, it's still a potential flex pick that we might get team confirmed in the first phase. Not yet. They're playing around the Baksha flex. They pick up the Yuzhong paired up with the Farsa, while Zone goes for the Kalea Eve combo. So that's a very clear trade that they decided to go for. I still think, though, that it hurts their chances a little bit more, the fact that they gave the Yuzhong away.
Yeah, the picks are very, very quick. They do pick up the Sun Shin. It's a 10 special, but yeah, I think this Eve might be quite vulnerable when you have a Yuzhong up against her. Obviously with the Black Dragon form, always able to make ways to dive into the back line. That's the reason. That is also a question that kind of raises up in my head. Why'd they leave the Yuzhong open for ZETA to take?
Yeah, especially now that they are also going to be playing the Yi Sun Shin. So
Yeah.
it seems like Zone is picking the more difficult path
That's
into
true.
game number one. They think they really want to sort of maybe, are they limit testing themselves or their opponents? Picking a little bit more of, I wouldn't say losing matchups. Again, just difficult. So now we're going to see the gold laners get taken away. The carry ban kind of surprises me, considering that they already have the Farsa that can deal with that carry if ever.
And also for Team Zone, they're already kind of overloaded in damage. They need some more frontliners here to just back them up.
Yeah.
Usually when you see the Yi Sun Shin and the Eve, it's almost an instant, all right, we're going to see fighter gold.
Yeah.
But with the new patch, I'm not too sure. They are banning out the Moskov and the Claude though. Two heroes with blinks, really good against the Eve, so that's really good by Team Zone here. Lapu Lapu gets taken out. There you go. Despite the nerfs, we're still going to see the Lapu Lapu banned out. And again, could be a Lapu Lapu gold lane that we were expecting.
Yeah, still some respect, obviously. That gold lane, fighter gold lane rather, still kind of dwindling because of the fact that the War Axe has been nerfed as well. Phoveus, though, will be quite a great pickup as well when you kind of want to front line, especially when you want to fight up against a Farsa. But again, the Farsa is much more mobile compared to the Eve. Sure, their ultimate properties are almost the same, but with the Farsa, you have the wings by wings to kind of escape and have that self-peel embedded in yourself.
Yeah, and that might be the difference maker here. There's gonna have to be a lot of work put in here by this Phoveus to hold the line, and I think that's why Zone decided to go for it. Phoveus, as we all know, as long as the game is close, one of the best heroes you can pick up for longer engages, and I think Zone is leaning in towards that idea.
Wow.
Hayabusa and a Brody up against an Even. Right away, Zone picks up the Harith.
Yo, this is risky for Zone. Picking up the Harith, considering they don't really have a lot of frontliners here, and they're already up against the Farsa. A known counter to it. Then the Baksha as well. At least we do get something that I was hoping for. 10 on Assassin. ZETA decided, all right, you know what? Let's put the Baksha, let's flex it over to Rome, and let's pick up 10 on the Hayabusa. This is also something we've been talking about in the backstage, right? Like, will Hayabusa still be prio? Will we still see it on the hands of different jungler users? And I said, it really comes down to how good the jungler is.
Yeah.
10 is that guy, dude. When you give him a pick like this, he still shines.
Yeah, and it seems like they've changed it up a bit. Usually the Hayabusa comes in way earlier in the draft.
Yes.
But I think they lean towards the Baksha because they want that stability at the center of the map.
That's true. The Hayabusa, though, might be a catalyst for ZETA, especially in the hands of 10. The Assassin we want to talk about, but this Yi Sun Shin. Will it have a good time up against the Yuzhong? That's the question.
A lot of questions here, and I'm excited to see it get answered once again. Welcome to the very first match of M7 here on the wild cards. It's Zone versus ZETA. Who is gonna get first big win?
Let's see, let's see. Welcome to the Land of Dawn, the first match of the M7 World Championship wildcards. It's ZETA against Team Zone. So it's all about the Zone and the Division for both teams. So we'll try to take those buffs quickly. Look at the rotations from right. Obviously, mid-prio will still be the name of the game with the minion changes as well earlier on today.
Just controlling over Lethal Wanderer as well. Here's Xora. Gonna get it. 10 will just go for the green camp. Sora's trying to go for the steal. That's a quad shadow forward. Katsu and Kani not enjoying this Eve poke at all.
Yeah, that Eve is very, very strong still. And Hayabusa as well. We kind of want to talk about the nerfs, or rather secret buffs it kind of received, right? We talked about the quad shadow being kind of minimized in terms of the range, meaning it can't dive as freely as it used to. But the buff is the fact that, you know, the cooldown is much more quicker in terms of the shadow kill, and as well as the damage given with the shuriken. So I think this Hayabusa is still very much viable.
Yeah, good trade-offs. And I like how Team Zone, knowing that they had the prio up against the Baka and the Farsa, actually decided to go for that quick little poke battle with the Golem, but then they decided to back off when they realized that there's a chance Zeta might be able to change things around. In terms of the emblems, just to pull yourself together on that Farsa.
Exactly. On a Purified 2, Bankai, level 4.
Yeah, he, Katsu really wants that quick cooldown, as it is very much a dangerous lane, especially up against the Kalea. If you want that Purify to go on quickly. And the properties from Team Zone kind of bake off quickly with the Kalea is very much apparent. Now they want to get their hands, lay claim on the first objective. Kane is close by 10 as well, level 4.
Instant zoning, Quancha coming down 10. Oh, locked down by the Mountain Shocker. Sixora picking up first blood and the Turtle Junichi. Now jumping over to Kenny, forcing the flicker out. It's two members locked in. Bright able to flicker out again. Bankai going all the way, misses the ability, won't be able to jump in. Flickers out to safety and gets the regen on time.
Oh my, 1-for-1, but Team Zone will come out on top. They have their hands on the turtle, and that was Junichi looking to change the tide of the war, but Bankai
1v1, Junichi, can he do it? He's got the passive Furious Dive over, solo kill up top.
Junichi, all right. So we talked about the explosiveness of Bankai, but the ZETA Division has some explosiveness as well on their side. So now Team Zone still constantly applying the pressure towards the orange side buff of ZETA Division, which actually stops a lot of the aggressive takes that Kani and Katsu want to do. Instead of Katsu being able to fly straight towards the minions, he had to go to the jungle a bit first.
Uh-oh. Kani is just going to jump in. They're going to be tracking the real mobilization. Oh, Mountain Shocker! Sixora finding two. Now the Feather Airstrike dealing a bit more damage, but Bright gets away. Kenny as well, just with a sliver of health.
Two players with a sliver of HP, but that was Sixora changing the tide with a single Mountain Shocker, traps two, gets the kill, and then K is able to follow up. We talked about the fact that in this patch, that gold lane plays kind of in the more weak side approach.
Yeah.
But with the Harith having one kill in the 3rd minute of the game, it is not good news for ZETA Division.
I think we got to see there what we were talking about earlier with ZETA Division. Really needs to reel it back in with the aggression. Now, that might have worked if they were playing in their qualifiers, but not against a Team Zone, and especially with ZX Aura in the jungle that you're going up against. I felt like that was his experience now showing up with how easily he was able to land that Mountain Shocker straight to the back. And as expected, it is the Hunter Strike, a rush there for ZX Aura in the jungle YSS.
This Hayabusa is behind 0-2. Obviously, for 10, it is not a good thing, especially the use of Jin. Look at him go!
Yeah, you can purify out of CC, but not out of the damage of a basic attack of a snowballing Yisu Jin. That should be free. Almost a solo down below. K really pushing it.
Oh my. The Team Zone, this is the snowball we talked about. They can go quick and run away with this lead. The ZETA Division still scratching their heads. What can they do? Because as of now, the Brody's not really good to fight. Look at Sixora!
That's gonna be an assassin. Oh, actually, Sixora's caught here. Not enough peel. Believe Minette finds a shutdown. And look at the follow-up. Bright able to flicker out. The RWM is doing a bit more damage here, but K can't really go for the siege on a Harith.
Not the cleanest rotations that we're seeing here, or decisions for both teams. Up until, of course, ZX Aura decided to go for that dab. I think that was a heat check for him. Now, he has to reel it back just a little bit. Another thing about the rookies is the fact that they can really go fast.
Yeah, they can go fast. They can also be punished very fast.
Ooh. That's my point. When you have the lead, you play confident. But then, if you go overboard, this is the things that's gonna happen. They might crumble, but so far they're not crumbling because of the shakiness or the nervousness. It's because they can't really control themselves. Someone needs to keep them in check.
Yeah. Junichi, though, seems like he is currently the anchor for ZETA Division right now. And it seems like Katsu and Kani are catching up to his rotations and aggressions. So they're going to need to be able to continue that. While Team Zone still has control in the map here, what next does ZETA Division have to do so they can get a little bit more of a taste of the map control that Team Zone has more of?
Yeah, they need to farm more, prepare themselves for a fight, and maybe utilize Junichi to open up the choke points in the map, because so far he is, like you said, the anchor of ZETA Division. He can fight, he can 1v2, possibly 1v3 as well, stall some time, buy some time, and then let the Brody farm more. Take a look at the swap in the lanes that they have made, and look at where ZETA Division is right now. They're pretty confident taking control of that orange side jungle, and this kind of establishes some sort of control towards the second objective in the turtle.
Honestly, the confident Dark Wave already forced to use Revitalize now. Black Dragon form already. That's maybe Tsunami's spam in answer to it, but they're going to be caught in it. Kenny is able to dish out damage. Fears down the Petrify in the backline by Junichi, but look at K doing a heck of a lot of damage with Devon Force. Now Muy Minette putting the stacks down, but will get bursted. But Kai, together with Kenny, gets another, and they're all zoned away. 10 with a jump, but Zixora stays true to the red tree. Perfect 3 turtles on for Team Zone as Muy Minette gets bonked by Bankai.
A Hail Mary play made by 10. TP back and get the turtle, but it's all down in vain. Team Zone, their blood's boiling, and their trigger fingers are happily shooting at ZETA Division.
Okay, just looked like he had a grand old time in that last engagement, especially since he's playing under his own team's real-world manipulation, and without Katsu's feathered airstrike, that Harith is going to be free for most of the time. Even if he gets caught by a Petrified Furious Dive, he'll still be able to recover through that as long as he has his Zaman Force and he can freely hit. ZETA needs to recalibrate their team fighting and make sure that they put more difficulty for a Harith that will just run wild on them.
Good reaction there. RWF locks them down, zones them away, and look who's isolated. Connie all alone. Zixora with the dive in the back, the mountain shocker, and now on Katsu almost finding a fadeaway. Not even the fighter can survive this damage.
He is playing like a man possessed. Look at him go completely out of this world. Too confident for ZETA Division to handle, and look at Team Zone, 12 kills. The second tier turret in minute number 8. This is getting out of control for ZETA Division.
Team Zone, and it's actually the YSS zoning the rest of the opponents.
They got zoned for sure.
That is insane. 6-2 and 5. This Yi Sun Shin, he's single-handedly making some really great individual decisions. That's just great for the whole team, and ZETA's just crumbling.
Yep, the Black Dragon form was baited out. Junichi, I guess he was trying to predict a dive into the turret, but now it's all of the Holy Shields that were up, down. Up top, it's not taken down yet. They still have to get a tier 2.
Now, we talked about ZETA Division's kind of win con is to kind of dive quickly, especially with the Black Dragon form. But we forgot that the RWF of the Eve is some sort of appeal tool as well.
Yes.
To enable the Harith to move and bob and weave left and right to get the damage going. We talked about Team Zone not having enough frontliners, but their peel in, away, damage peeling, right? You have Yi Sun Shin in and of itself is kind of peeling for the team too, especially when he's just gunning around with the Mountain Shocker too, and the Eve is just untouchable. 3-0 and 8. That RWM is zoning ZETA Division so far away in the back. Not even Junichi can reach Kenny.
Yeah, ZETA Division will not be able to contest this Lord, while 10 tries to recover a little bit of map space here for the team by split pushing up top. Now, Team Zone, honestly, if they can continue to bait out the early Furious Dive Petrifies, they're going to be good, because that's ZETA Division's main tool of, as you mentioned, realize the peel, that crowd control, AoE, that now, as we have seen it, a lot of times Team Zone actually just has way more of. There's too many AoE crowd control effects for ZETA to deal with, while ZETA really mainly only has that Yu Zhong combo.
This is why we don't really see the Baksha in Rome as often anymore, right?
Yeah.
You just really lack the CC. You have to make up for the lack of CC in the late game, lack of sustainability when you're behind with early tempo, and they haven't done that. They're 9,000 gold behind.
This might just be game over. Another airstrike opened, and Team Zone, they want to see to the base.
Oh, Brian really wants to go for Junichi. He's able to find it, but Bounce Shocker goes to the right side. Doesn't matter. K still bursts them all. Holy crystal pickup. 10 with a walk up, but gets instantly shoulder bashes. They go for the siege in the bottom lane. 10 will fall. K goes for the triple. It's a big dark wave from Bankai. A double, a triple, and that's game 1.
ZETA Division divided with a zone created by the Mongolian team. They are playing perfect MLBB as they strike first in this best of 3.
Yep, that was clean. I mean, the initial problems I had with them giving away the Yu Zhong. Yeah, you saw the Yu Zhong did become the anchor, but really just they could not do much. The Baksha roam has to be revisited here by ZETA as a priority. And I know they wanted to do that because it seems like they really wanted to set up for a more comfortable jungle pick. But even if, like, to say, you get a comfort, if the roam is uncomfortable, if the roam can barely hold the front line because he's just constantly getting poked down, then no matter what pick you end up with, your jungle and your team will struggle. Well, let's look at zone. It felt like they did almost everything perfectly in that game. Wasn't the perfect game, but it was close to it.
Almost threw it away, you know?
Yeah.
Again, trigger
times.
trigger happy players, but
K
it's okay.
and Bankai.
Bankai and
yeah.
Zexora too, to a certain extent.
Yeah.
The captain, but it's all good. It's all good. I think they were limit testing, right? They were
Maybe.
trying to go far and test how in a way ZETA might kind of come back in the game, but yeah, they made it happen. They made it loud and clear that they are here to battle it out, and there was nothing that ZETA could do about all of the snowball happening in Team Zone.
I really like that specific play by Bright. He flickered right in front of Kani, and I thought he would pull the trigger on the ultimate right away, but he said, no, that's not the guy I need to get. I need to get the Yu Zhong.
Yeah.
So he took a couple of steps and then used the Tsunami Slam on the Yu Zhong, and just as expected, without it, ZETA really didn't have a team fight to go with. And I think, now looking back, Zexora and the very eager plays that he was making from time to time, I think he knew that even if he went down, he still had a Harith and an Eve to cover for him in terms of the damage.
Yeah, there's always going to be a backup, right? I mean, the backup might be the main source of damage at that point. Like, Zexora might have just been trying to bait out as many abilities as possible. Just because, again, for ZETA Division, they don't have enough CC. Like, they only have a Petrify and a Furious Eye. That's the most reliable form of CC. And I don't want to say Brody's skill 2 is reliable, because you got to get in there against the even Harith. That's suicide.
Yeah.
Oh no.
That skill 2 is really more for protection.
Yeah.
It's like, if anyone reaches you, then you use that. You're not going to flicker forward and flicker. That's something I would do. But then there's a reason why I'm here. Not there.
Not there.
Not there.
Yeah, you want to give him a kiss with that skill too.
Yes. Is it? It's not a kiss, though.
In Indonesia, we say
It's a smooch.
It's a smooch.
He goes all the way. Right?
Yeah.
Like,
Oh.
it's a jump
okay.
forward, but hey.
So usually you would say to your teammate, I got smooched by Brody.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. I learned something new today. Okay, so that's going to be a new part of MLBB language, the smooch from the Brody. Speaking of the Brody, I feel like that could have been something else, but then I think in terms of the damage you were looking for, that was the pick left that they could go for. I mean, Granger was still open, but I feel like they weren't just confident to pick it up. But I feel like I would have preferred that over the Brody.
Yeah, I think ZETA was kind of set up in that specific space because most of the goal laners were banned out, right? The Moskov, the Claude, the Blinks we talked about.
Yeah.
Safety, as well as trying to pin down the Yve. But again, they were left without many options that I think would be viable. I think the Granger is a good shout, but
I think the best choice was the Harith. Like, they could have picked that up before, right? Because Team Zone got the Harith last pick. It was the 5th pick of the game. They went Hayabusa too, so it makes sense for you to go for the Haya Harith combo. But in the end, they went for Brody instead, maybe thinking, all right, we might have enough with just the Farsa for magic damage and, burst, so we might want to lean on more sieging power with the Brody.
Yeah.
But I think the Harith would have just been perfect for them, because it would have also denied the pick away from Team Zone.
Yeah. I think also maybe they were considering the fact that they didn't have enough protection for their backline, so they wanted to have a gold laner that had some sort of protection with the Brody smooch, but they just weren't able to get the ball rolling with it. I think if we're going to look at the next game and in the next draft, you really just have to change up your priorities. I don't want to say ZETA try the Boxer Roam anymore. I know they have a wider pool in the Roam, but it just wasn't working out well for them.
I mean, I thought if they wanted I thought that if they wanted to pick up the Baxia, it would have been a Baxia jungle, and then you pair it with something pick-off-ish in the Roam, right?
Yeah.
Usually you go with the Baxia Franco, but again, this meta doesn't really reward you with that. So yeah, they were forced to kind of put the Baxia in the Roam, and I don't think it's that valuable.
They tried to juke, but they didn't juke us, right? Like, all the way from the start as well, it's like, it's a shame for Ten to not be on an Assassin, for him to be on a Baksha. And that's why, for Team Zone, they were like, yeah, we feel the same way. That's why we picked up the Phoebes. We know it's coming.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, whether it's going to be a Haya, a Lance, or maybe a Ling that just got buffed, we're going to have something to prepare. And if they don't, fair enough. It's 10 on a utility pick. It's something that they are okay with.
Yeah. I feel like because of what we saw in that game number one, now it's ZETA that has to do so much of recalibrating.
Yeah.
Because if they're going to lean on a Baksha pick, there's no more surprise factor. Clearly, Zone is ready to do with it if it's going to be in the roam. If it ends up in the jungle, then you're sort of nerfing what the jungler can do. And because of everything that happened in the center of the map, it's Kenny who walks away with the MVP honors, deathless. Because again, he had a good time in this game. There was no one who could really mess with him other than that Yu Zhang.
Yeah, Brother Man was chilling playing chess with Magnus Carlsen in the back, you know, with the checkerboard we had.
He even came late.
He did. I think it was a Queen's Gambit he was playing, but yeah, we might just give it to Zexora. Some might say give it to Zexora, but I think Kenny here deserves it as well. He was healing for his team. It was outputting damage, and we talked about him being the weak link here because in the side of Zeta they had that Yu Zhang to dive into the back the Hayabusa too. But he was still able to stay deathless while peeling for his team as well. So I think he deserves it more than ever in this regard for that MVP.
Yeah, I feel like there was a great connection between Kenny, Bright, and Bankai together because you saw Bright and Bankai in some of the clips that you're seeing right now actually take turns in terms of protecting Kenny. It's like, okay, if it's Bright who initiated, then Bankai stays a little bit back, get a Dark Wave off so that you can heal a little bit for the Eve, and vice versa.
Yeah. A lot of moments like this where you just see the brilliance of Kenny here. The RWMs are so good. Look at the zoning, right?
Yeah.
Onto Muimene, he can't walk up there. And it was constant taps onto that direction before he actually flickers out from the Furious Dive. So Kenny's very aware of what he needs to do to make the front to back work so that the Harith and the Yi Sun Shin gets maximum output of damage.
Even sad state of affairs there.
Look at that.
The zone. Another great real-world manipulation. Yeah, well-deserved MVP as we see a lot of these clips. And I think because of how he was able to catch the other members, it also enabled ZXora to have moments such as that one.
Yeah, it's like a ping pong game. One player enables someone else. While they're enabling that player, they're also enabling someone else. So it's a harmonious chemistry, I would say, with the set of heroes that they picked and their playstyle too. And you can't really walk up against an RWM as a Brody, right? Not the best range you would have. So that was very, very punishing, this Eve pick. And he was still going for the conventional build as well, the glowing one for his item.
Yeah.
So yeah, it still works for Team Zone at least.
I think also because they just knew, especially after the initial trade, after the first minion wave came out, it's like, yeah, I think we can afford to just first build the glowing one. It's gonna be fine. They also knew that ZETA Division were lynching a lot of their team fighting abilities through the revitalize of that Baksha. So it makes sense that they wanted to go for it right away.
Yeah, and it's also basically something that you can see with this kind of composition, right? Because when you already have a Phobius and a Kalea with 3 damage dealers, you don't want your Phobius and your Kalea to build Dominus Ice. You want them to get some core tanky items, the other ones. And you can definitely see it here. For Bright, right after the fleeting time, he goes for the Dreadnought armor, goes for the robe, and for Bankai as well. Despite the War Axe, he still gets it, and he's on the way to the Queen's Wings, which we've been talking about, right? If you want to still have that spell vamp, you can go with War Axe and then Queen's Wings, and then you're good, man. That Queen's Wings got buffed like quite a bit.
Yeah.
8%.
Yeah, it's a great, surprising late game item. Like if you slot it in at either 3rd or 4th, the opposing team just wonders, wait, how come this guy won't die? Please build Queen's Wings if you're an EXP laner.
Yeah,
so
that's why Junichi was able to survive so many times.
Yeah.
He was really, really strong up in the XP lane. But yeah, Emblem's nothing really out of the ordinary, except the fact that Katsu brought that playstyle together, maybe just to speed up Purify.
I'm not a big fan of this, by the way, right? Like, I think it's cool if you go put yourself together when you're on Flicker.
Yeah.
But when you're on Purify, I think the cooldown's already short enough.
Yeah.
Even though obviously you want it, I think there's definitely other choices here that could push him a bit more in the laning phase.
Yeah, and I think we've seen enough also that when it comes to Kaleas and they see like a slow trotting roamer right in front of them, they'd rather just Tsunami Slam that.
Yeah.
Because there's a high chance you actually get to take that down. That even if you're not catching the mid laner, because the opposing roamer gets taken out right away by the Kalea, then the mid laner can barely do anything.
Yeah, and I think Brad wasn't really even targeting Katsu.
Yes.
In a few circumstances, he was mostly focused on the box, baiting it out, or the roamer too.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, Brad had other ideas.
I think this is the last thing for me as a marksman player myself. I love the Brody Master Assassin when I'm playing ranked games. You know, when I know I can dominate my lane, I'll go for it. But up against the Harith here, I think Weapon Mastery would have been a bit better. And considering how ZETA Division kind of formed their composition, it's more of a, let's play strong side Brody, let's go for sieges. So it's you playing with the rest of your team. And therefore losing out on the value of Master Assassin. aside from like the first 2 minutes of the game,